Sorry. Yeah, good evening. Welcome to the Cortez City Council meeting. It's September 10th, 2024. The time is 7:40 p.m. And if everyone could rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Linda, can we have the roll call, please?
Kiefhofer,
Here.
Behaven,
Here.
Rule,
Here.
Bree, Randall,
Here.
Lewis,
Here.
Medina.
Okay, and then if I could get approval of the agenda.
I move that council approve the agenda for September 10th, 2024.
Second.
Motion made by Lewis and seconded by Kiefhofer.
Lewis,
Aye.
Kiefhofer,
Aye.
Randall, Spruill,
Yes.
Behaven.
Aye. Next up is item 2, the consent agenda. The listing under consent agenda is a group of items to be acted on with a single motion and vote. This agenda is designed to expedite the handling of limited routine matters by City Council. Either the public or a council member may request that an item be removed from the consent agenda at that time prior to council's vote. The mayor will ask if a citizen or council member wishes to have any specific item removed from the consent agenda for discussion. And on our agenda is A, approval of the city council special meeting work session and agenda minutes for August 27th, 2024. B, approval of the expediter list for September 10th, 2024. And C, approval of a special events permit application for Fundamental Needs, Inc. to host an outdoor concert event on Saturday, September 21st, 2024 at Montezuma Park, located at the corner of Market Street and Montezuma Avenue, Cortez. Would any member of council or the public like to see an item removed from this agenda? If not, can I get a motion?
Madam Mayor Pro Tem, I would like to make a motion that council approve the consent agenda as presented.
Second.
Motion made by Kiefhofer and seconded by Spruill.
Yes.
Randall, Lewis,
Aye.
Kiefhofer,
Aye.
Behaven.
Aye. Item 3 on our agenda is public participation. There is no limit to the number of speakers, although the public comments will be held to an overall time limit of 30 minutes. Speakers have a time limit of 3 minutes per person, may only speak once, and may not cede time to another commenter. And when you come up to comment, you'll stand at the podium. You don't have to touch anything. The microphone will turn on, and there's a timer and a color indicator. You have 3 minutes. It will turn green and then yellow for 1 minute and then red when you should stop. So I'd like to invite Ty Copenhaver to the stand. And you can start with your name and what area you live in. You might want to stand at the taller one, and the mic will turn on.
My name is.
Yeah, just lean in a little bit.
Okay. My name is Ty Copenhaver. I live at 7600 Road 26.5 south of town here. I'm an engineer, I guess. I grew up in Memphis. Go ahead. Okay. How about? Oh yeah.
Oh, there we go. Yeah.
I grew up in Memphis. I spent about 10 years away. I just moved back, and we opened up an engineering firm on Main Street in Cortez. We're actually doing the city's transportation master plan right now as part of some of the work that we have going on. With that new office, I'm the only one right now. We're working on building employees. We are having an open house this coming Thursday, so I wanted to extend an invitation to the council to swing by that open house, come meet our owners, some of our employees. We'd love to have you guys there. I do have printed invitations if that's something I could give to the council.
Yeah, you can pass those out.
Okay, sounds great. I'll just do that. And I guess more about me, I'm specifically a water resources engineer. I do a lot of roadway projects, land development. I'm a certified floodplain manager, so I do a lot of that work as well. But I really like the water projects. That's what I'm passionate about. So I'm looking forward to working for you guys and continuing to help the community grow. Thank you.
All right, well, thank you. And I seeing no more public comment, I'll move on to number 4, presentations. A is the 2024 July financial statement.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. In your board packets this evening are the July 2024 financial statements. I usually like to throw in some highlights or just point out things that may be anomalies. I scoured these and could not find anything that we had not already talked about or had been presented to council. So, just to let you know that City Manager Sanders and I are working very diligently on the 2025 budget. We have started our department head budget meetings already. We still have several of the larger departments to move through, but we have a very tight schedule over the next few days. Just for the people that are new, the way that our process works, once we're done meeting with all of the department heads, then I'll be able to publish the proposed ClearGov budget out on the website, and people will be able to make public comment from there. Public comments are gathered and presented to council throughout the process as we go through the review with the council, the first ordinance reading, the public hearing, and the second reading. So people have plenty of time to comment on the budget, and you'll be able to see all of those public comments. Of course, we'll have Kelly Codner, our PIO, make sure that everyone's notified out on Facebook and that it's on the webpage as news so that everybody has an opportunity to comment on anything that they'd like to within the 2025 proposed budget. Does anybody have any questions about that process?
Looks like we're all just gearing up to read through the budget. Thank you.
Thank you.
So moving on to number 5, public hearings. We have none. This should be number 6, unfinished business. We also have none. And number 7, new business. A is a land lease agreement for a hangar development presented by Jeremy Patton, our airport director.
Good evening, Madam Mayor Pro Tem, right? And City Council. Sounds like the mic is going in and out, so I apologize for that if it's something I'm impacting. But so I bring forth tonight a new lease agreement. This will be the first reading for a private hangar development at the airport on Lot North 8. So this is the north stretch of hangars continuing down the row. The candidate that wants to build a hangar is Eli Tomac for, again, personal use. He intends to build a 60 by 70 structure on the lot. And he came to the airport in November of 2023. And I keep a general wait list or a notification list for other inquiries, and then I just kind of work through them as who's serious to build. And Tomac has just been very diligent about getting this process going. Letter of intent, building plans, utility conversations, and then just kind of waiting on me to put together the agreement. I'm working on the FAA requirements, the environmental requirements. They're pretty much done at this point. So, the airport has room on this stretch, obviously for one hangar in this case, and then one more after this, and then we're kind of limited until I get that south apron expansion built next fall. So we're just trying to take advantage of those two areas on the north stretch. Tomac, again, will build a 60 by 70 structure. That was his request, and that's allowed. That was optimum for the lot that we have there. The total square footage in the exhibit that I've included in the packet includes the 12.5 feet on each side of the building for easement between structures, and then 20 feet off the street side for personal parking. So our total leased area is 7,600 square feet. The airport will realize for the remainder of the year $770 at a rate of 41 cents per square foot. And for the 40-year land lease moving forward, next year will be approximately 42 cents per square foot, and then everything's adjusted yearly per a CPI average. So we'll realize next year approximately $3,200 per year, and generally we go up at 1.2 to 1.5% year after year. And so with that, our staff is recommending that we approve on first reading ordinance 1327, Series 2024, the first reading for approving a 40-year land lease with Eli Tomac between the city of Cortez and Eli Tomac for the purpose of hangar construction. And to reiterate that as a motion, a possible motion to approve this ordinance 1327, Series 2024. Any questions?
Jeremy, I have a question. You mentioned Eli put this together, but there must be other people in the pipeline. Any idea how many we have that are interested?
So for reference, I mean, in the 4 years that I've been here, I've had a little over 20 inquiries, and several of them have dropped off because they've bought a hangar somewhere else that it was already built. That's kind of ideal, that you either rent or buy something that's already there, instead of, in today's economy, it's really pretty pricey to build. So a lot of people have backed out. Most of my wait list is requests for storage. They don't want to build, or they can't build necessarily. As you know, or some of you, your council members weren't here for it, but Classic Air Medical was the last, actual constructed hangar that was complete. This January, they finally opened that hangar up. And then we had that pending agreement with that couple that unfortunately passed away in an accident. And so we terminated that lease, and then we're moving on. So 3 hangars, realized in 4 years is pretty good for an airport, but the list continues to grow, and we've got a lot of jet owners and charter, people that are flown by charter in and out of here that are requesting information on building here, because it's hard to get into Durango. Telluride's locked up. Montrose is locked up. Junction's extremely expensive and locked up to build a private hangar. That's more for commercial use. So my list right now consists of about 8 that I have constant dialogue with, and 2 out of those 8, one being Eli, who's present tonight, only 2 of them are really serious, and they're getting after it. And we can't just sit on it, right? So I'm not really waiting on everybody to get information to me, because honestly, a lot of them are not going to happen. Let's be real. But
Thank you.
yep.
I have a question regarding the need for more hangars and the like. It sounds like predominantly a private, venture for his own aircraft.
Right.
Do we have anything in the works, or do we have plans to have anything so that other individuals who are private pilots might be able to hook into a system where there's some sort of a co-op or some sort of a situation? Can you give us some background on how that might work, or if there's anything in the out there lying ahead of us where private plane owners might be able to have a place to store their plane?
Yeah, sure, Councilwoman. I mean, there's a lot I can go into. I don't want to go too far into the weeds on some of this, because there are a lot of conversations happening, and I'm in the middle of several. And one being a local, members of my nonprofit chapter that are starting to talk about building a structure that is a shared use with, like, the nonprofit, a flight school. There's a lot of discussion, but actual action it takes a while to see things materialize, right? But the conversations are there about flight schools, flight clubs, an additional or improved FBO. The trajectory is up. I'll just put it that way. And what I'm trying to do, because we don't have the capital to build structures at the moment to rent them out, which would bring us some really good revenue for renting rather than just leasing dirt. The city sold the last 3 hangars it owned. As of 2018 was the most recent. But that would be an ideal situation, that we put up structures and rent them out. not likely to happen in the near future. So I'm trying to reach out to more of the entities that fly in and out of here with their own jets or the charter, or business developers, hangar developers, like what we're seeing in Durango. The trade-off is some of those hangars are just prohibitively expensive. You know, $800 for a quarter of a building is not going to work out here. So, I mean, that's a whole nother conversation. But to answer your question, there are a lot of conversations that just have not materialized, but they are in progress.
I move that council approve on first reading ordinance number 1327, series 2024, an ordinance approving a 40-year land lease agreement between the city of Cortez and Eli Tomac for the purpose of hangar construction, and set for public hearing on September 24th, 2020.
Second.
Motion made by Sproul and seconded by Lewis.
Randall. Lewis.
Aye.
Spruill.
Aye.
Buffer.
Aye.
Haven.
Aye.
Thank you, council.
Thank you. We'll move on to item B, Parks and Recreation and Forestry Advisory Board appointment, presented by Linda Smith, City Clerk.
Good evening, Mayor Pro Tem and City Council. This evening on your agenda is the information on the city advisory boards. We recently had a member that resigned from the Parks and Rec Advisory Board, and you had 2 members that were left that are still interested in serving, and I didn't know if you'd like to consider those 2 members, or if council would like for us to re-advertise for this position. So I'm just looking for direction from City Council on that.
Ms. Smith, have you confirmed that both of these applicants that are currently in our packet are available and still willing to participate, correct?
Yes, I have. I spoke to both of them this week.
I think it's important that we open it back up. I think we've drawn from this pool of applicants. The question I would have to our director is, being down one person, does that really impact you? Would it make a big difference if we were seeking some individuals to serve?
Good evening, Madam Mayor, Pro Tem, and Councilmember Lewis. It would not be a huge impediment to wait for council to recruit the spot. As long as our remaining members are diligent about attending, being down one member is not a huge deal. We did, in happenstance, our last meeting had to cancel because we did not have a quorum. We had 3 members that could not make it. So that doesn't happen all that often. 1 member out, not a big deal. 2 members out, I get concerned. 3 members, that's a problem, but it doesn't happen. In my 3 years, this is the first time it's happened.
Thank you.
I tend to agree with Bill as I kind of go through the applications. I honestly don't recall the interviews specifically, so I think there could be some value in opening it back up.
I'm seeing on top of comments, heads being shaking, so I think we'll go ahead and open that back up then. Thank you, Council.
Okay, great. We'll move on to number 8, which is draft resolutions and ordinances. We have none done. And number 9, the city attorney's report.
The only thing I have is I will be on vacation starting tomorrow and returning next Wednesday.
Great. And then we'll move on to the city manager's report.
Yeah, good evening, Mayor Pro Tem, Council. I have a report for you this evening, starting with the CDOT Traffic Engineering School study for South Broadway and the West Main Street. We've got that report back, and we intend to share that soon. But they did, in fact, actually come in with a recommendation that a school zone does need to be installed near the Montezuma Cortez Middle School. That's good news for us. That will be between, let's see, in their study area was between the mile marker 37.68 to 38.07. They're recommending a 25-mile-an-hour school zone speed limit along with other changes to the speed zones near the middle school and improve pedestrian crossings in that area. I think they're also planning to perhaps extend that all the way around the corner and perhaps as far as Market Street. So we'll see as we study that more. Secondly, the city is now offering bear deterrent polycarts equipped with a securable lid. That will be adhering to the same guidelines as regular polycarts, but must be unfastened when set out for pickup. So you may ask, why are we talking about bear deterrent polycarts? Well, we are experiencing some bear problems, especially on the south end of town. So we're offering that service. Also, Detective Ryan Lloyd has officially retired from the Cortez Police Department. His last day is this week. He's served for 20 and a half years of service to this community. His last day will be Thursday, September 12th. Lieutenant Lloyd joined Cortez Police Department in March of 2004 as a patrol officer. He was promoted to a detective in March of 2010 and then promoted to detective lieutenant in February of 2015. The City of Cortez would like to thank Lieutenant Lloyd for his many years of dedication and service to our community. His leadership during his career has been impressive and has been a great inspiration for many others. We're going to miss him. He's going to leave a big hole, and we do have a good replacement, but certainly not as experienced just yet. And then one last thing, I just heard from the recruiter on that's handling our two recruitments for general services and library director. We have 26 applicants for the library director position, which is excellent. He is planning to pare that down to 14 people for screening and interviews, and I think as early as next week. I have not heard anything about general services director just yet. With that being said, no further unless there's questions from council.
What's up with our speakers this week? They sound terrible.
Gremlins. I wish I had an answer because we fixed one thing and two other things break. So we're on it. We're working on it. We thought we had it fixed, and we're not letting go. So sorry that I apologize, but
I'm only getting parts of every conversation, and it's because of modulation.
yeah, and I'm with you even from my chair over here. It's horrible. So enough said. Thank you, sir.
Okay, we'll move on to city council committee reports. A is the mayor's workshop or mayor's report on the workshop. During the workshop, we had a water rate discussion where we learned about our water treatment facilities, abilities, the historic use of water in our community, and the comparison of our city's water rates to other communities. We had a lot of good discussion about tiered systems and requests for a lot of other data that will really help us make decisions in the future. So looking forward to continuing that. We also got some tips and pointers on how to use the ClearGov program in preparation for our budget review. And lastly, we had a presentation on possible marijuana licensing moratorium, where there was sort of a mixed consensus, but people would like more information on a cap on the number of stores versus a moratorium. And in general discussion, it was brought up that having a brief summary of follow-ups on public comment during the workshop would be helpful in the future. So moving on to B, other board reports, we can start with Councilmember Kiefhofer and make our way down.
Okay. As Creighton mentioned, we did not have a quorum, and our meeting for last Thursday was canceled.
Nothing?
The Historic Preservation Board met on Wednesday, September the 4th. The news to date is that the 2024 CL grant that was subsidizing the Class 3 Cultural Resource Survey of Carpenter and Greer Natural Areas is set to start on September the 16th, to my knowledge.
Golf advisory meeting will be September 20th, 7 a.m. at the clubhouse.
Great, and as the city manager mentioned, I am looking forward to interviews with the library board candidate. I also just want to point out that this month is Suicide Awareness Month, and I saw Councilmember Kiefhofer attended the Rise Southwest Suicide Awareness walk on Saturday. It was well attended. I think it was a good place for people to get together, a good use of Montezuma Park, and overall, just open and positive messages. So moving on to other items of business, item A is an executive session as needed. There is none tonight. And moving to our second round of public participation, do we have anyone who would like to make public comment? Nope. And lastly, adjournment. Do I have a motion?
I move to adjourn.
Second.
Motion made by Lewis and seconded by Kiefhofer.
Lewis,
Aye.
Randall, Kiefhofer,
Aye.
Bull,
Yes.
Haven.
Aye.